Thank you so much. Good morning from the live stream, and I'm also recording it on YouTube, so if you watch it on YouTube, welcome. My name is Eve Seiler. I'm a PhD. Oh, you can come in if you want to attend. I'm a PhD in bioorganic chemistry, so I love science and all about it, but I'm also 8 years raw vegan. I love food, so it's all about food today, and a little bit science if you have questions. So I also have an email list. If you want to have more information, I have a raw vegan easy guide. Easy like my name. So if you want to put your email in here, if you want. Oh, is there a pen? Thank you. All right. So what I wanted to do today is how you say that, a key lime pie. But Mauricio used the last date, so so we're gonna do something else. So maybe it's even better. You know, this is always life. You know, you missing one ingredient, you can't do the thing that you expected to do, so you just do something else, and it might be even better. So hopefully. So yeah, and so what you see here today is a lot of fruit, and I think the number one mistake that a lot of raw vegans do, or people who want to eat primarily raw, or 100% raw, especially if you want to be 100% raw, you have to have most of your calories from fruit, because you get your calories from either carbohydrates, from fat, or from protein. But protein is not a good fuel source. It burns dirty. It creates ammonia in your body, especially if you eat the animal protein. So you don't want too much of protein. It also strains your kidneys, especially if you eat animal protein. Not so much with plant protein. You can't overdose of plant protein usually. Yeah, but it is still not the primarily fuel source for the body. And then fat. Fat is a good fuel source, sure, but it slows down your blood flow. If you have too much fat in your blood, it also can create insulin resistance, because the fat just clogs up the insulin receptors, and then you will have problems with sugary foods. So it's like the fat caused the problem, but the sugar makes you feel the problem. So it's not directly the problem for diabetes or any metabolic disease. Anyway, so fat is a little bit better fuel source than protein, but still not preferred. So carbohydrates. So all carbohydrates is the best fuel source for your body, and then you can have either simple carbohydrates like fructose, or you can have starches, potatoes, where you cook it and you have it starched, but it will be metabolized in your body just as sugar. So I rather prefer the raw version, and we don't really like too starchy foods. So a potato, yeah, it would give us sugar too, but a raw potato just doesn't taste good. So I prefer the high carbohydrate foods that have a lot of fiber, that are not heated or chemically altered, and yeah, that is fruit. So that's why, as a 100% raw vegan, we want to eat a lot of fruit. So don't be scared, and I understand if people come from a heavy meat, animal product diet, then they might have problems with very sweet fruits, because you just have that problem with metabolizing sugar. So you want to maybe focus more on foods that you can tolerate. Oh, you okay? I can get more chairs too, maybe. Thank you. So papaya, you can look it up. Also, there's the glycemic index of foods. So the lower the glycemic index, the less it has an effect on your blood sugar. So papaya is supposed to be really good. Bananas are quite sweet, so they may be not so optimal. Mangoes, I think, are good. Apples are really, really great. So if you have problems with sugar, then you want to go transfer from a high fat, animal fat diet to a high carbohydrates diet. You want to focus on apples and fruit with lower glycemic index until you get rid of all the extra fat in your body, and then you won't have any problem with fruit sugar. So yeah, and if you have any questions, you can ask anytime, because just just want to let you know. The other thing, so yeah, we like to eat a lot of fruit, and then this food is already done. I mean, you don't need, this is the perfect fast food.
Yeah.
We don't even have to do anything. You know, if you're lazy and you don't have time, there's really no excuse because yeah.
If you are healthy weight and skinny, no fat, you can eat as much fruit as you want and it doesn't
No, yeah.
because of sugar.
You can eat as much as you want.
As much as you want.
Yes, until you're really full,
Your blood sugar
and then you stuff a little bit more in.
it's not gonna go up
No,
because of the
not at all,
fiber
no.
and the fruits.
Yeah, exactly. The fiber
Yeah.
and everything. So if we extract, science always thinks that it's so simple. Okay, we know that fructose causes fatty liver, and definitely this is bad for us. But then, okay, fruit has a lot of fructose, you know. But if we extract something and we isolate it and it has an effect isolated, it doesn't mean it has the same effect in the whole foods with all other components together, with all fiber, other nutrients, antioxidants. Eaten together, it makes a huge difference. This is really science. So the modern science always likes to dissect things and look at it at itself, but we were missing the point that it won't have the same effect. So we're losing a lot of information there.
And is it true to eat the fruit empty stomach by itself, or you can mix it after you meal?
Mix it.
Mix it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
mix it and have
Because
some.
I always hear to heat it when you have an empty stomach.
It
Not
really
eat-
depends on the individual. If you eat other foods as well, and there, sometimes you think you eat something and then it's gone. It's not gone. It's still there. It takes a while to digest. And if you put fruit on top of it, where you mix something on top of it, it's a little bit harder to digest.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult to determine what really the cause is of wrong food combination. Is it what you ate before, or is it your gut health, or is it microbiome is not right? So I don't have any issues with combining foods. I do love to start my day really simple and I just eat fruits. But if I want to eat dates with avocado, I'm gonna do it because you can make the best cakes with it. So, but it's really up to you. So if you are sensitive to specific combinations, then you might not do it for now. But just try it again later. Maybe.
I always do it separately. I eat my fruit separately, and later, a couple of hours after, I have a meal.
Yeah. Are you 100% raw? Are you 100% raw? You eat only raw?
No.
Yeah. So, like fruits and potato doesn't fit really well, I think. But it's not because of the fruit; it's because of the potato. I would say. But yeah, I mix fruits. Like I eat everything raw, and I don't have any problem with combining foods. I keep it simple, few ingredients, but usually I don't do food combining really. Yeah.
I heard to regulate your sugar, it's best to actually put fruit in your salad. Do you agree with that? Or it doesn't really?
No, well, you can do that definitely, but I don't have any problems. Also, I participated in a study as well, so I was myself a participant here, and I looked at so we were fasting, and then we were refeeding, and especially if you come out of the fast where you burn fat, and you start eating again, you have this metabolic kind of insulin resistant a little bit, temporarily. So, and everyone was kind of concerned, because I'm raw and I eat a lot of fruit, I want to refeed with just really only fruits, you know. I red fat with green juices and just fruits, whole fruits, a lot of it. And so the shift was not really that severe with me, and so I kind of adjusted it really, really well to that. And yeah, so and
Maybe if you're diabetic.
yeah,
Recommended.
well, as I said, if you're diabetic, then first of all you shouldn't fast. Second, you will have a stronger effect to sugary fruits, yes. So you might not tolerate, but it's not because of the fruit, it's because you need to transition. You need to focus on more lower sugar fruits, you need to maybe combine them, that's a good idea. But over time, if you're at your healthy point, then you can eat fruit as much as you want. I do eat a lot of vegetables, so
Yeah.
as well. But I do eat a lot of fruit because that's the main calories, and I eat big salads as well. Yes?
So do you do 80-10-10?
No, I don't. This is too restrictive for me. I don't really follow anything like, as I said, food combining or counting my macros. I don't. I really don't. So if I'm, like for example, I ate already half avocado. With 80-10-10, you pretty much have room for only half an avocado. So and if I already ate my half avocado and there's a coconut and it looks good, I'm not gonna count in my head, oh, I'm already reached 80-10-10, I'm not gonna eat this. I just go after my taste. Do I wanna eat this coconut? Do I feel good with eating this coconut? And I will have it. You know, sometimes I have 30% fat in my diet, so of my total calories. Sometimes it's 10%, sometimes maybe it's less than 10%. Some days I water fast, but usually I would say it's about 20%. And I think that works really good for me when I'm really physical active. I feel I need more fat and calories, and I think maybe a female and man is different. Females maybe need a little bit more fat. So I'm really not sure. So that's how I eat. I really eat more consciously, like intuitively, instead of counting anything. And I think if you keep it all raw and whole, it will come naturally to you at some point, that you really eat naturally as you are supposed to be. I mean, the nature didn't make any mistakes with our bodies, right? It's if we are hungry, if we have cravings, there's a reason. And we can't satisfy everything that we need. Those are needs. So we satisfy it, but not with the wrong foods. We go to the whole raw fruits and vegetables that we can eat unprocessed. So I would not process anything that I can't eat unprocessed. So I'm not going to use rice and pulverize it and then eat it raw. Just because I didn't cook it doesn't mean that I should eat it. You know, so everything that I can eat in its living, unprocessed form, I'm using, and then I mix it up or something. So do we want to start with the cake? So yeah, so actually everything looks really simple. So how am I going to make a cake all out of whole foods? Bananas are really a great cake ingredient, I think. But and they have like, I mean, a cake. What is a cake? You bake it and you remove the water. But if you bake it in an oven, you also have a lot of high heat, and the heat changes the chemistry. So in a cake, we could make a cake removing the water without changing the chemistry, just removing the water. And this is what I do with a dehydrator. And the dehydrator just warms it up a little bit below. It is below 150 Fahrenheit, and it just blows air through the food and it dehydrates it. So and this is what I did with the bananas here. Thank you. I'll leave it here in case someone outside. So this is what I did with the bananas, and they look like this. So I just peeled ripe bananas. So we have here unripe bananas, for example. They're a little bit green. And then I have here more ripe bananas. So this is, you can eat them. So the bananas green are not sweet. Maybe you prefer them like this, but I like them sweet, and especially for cakes, you want to have them sweet. So the bananas will develop like little spots, and then you know they're becoming sweeter, and then now they're sweet. So I basically just peel the banana, put them in the dehydrator, and then dehydrate them whole. So they're just like whole like this. No. Maybe a piece. Maybe I'll just leave a piece for you.
No,
yeah.
that's okay, that's okay.
Because I do like to not even do anything with them. Sometimes I have a lot of bananas and then just dry them like whole, and I cut them and then I put them in something like maybe in a cereal, and they kind of taste like marshmallows. Or I make a chocolate cream and put the I call them like marshmallow or banana marshmallows.
How long do you hydrate them?
Those were dehydrated for, it takes about a full day and a full night. So kind of 24 hours, yeah. So then they turn like this, they're a little bit soft.
And that's a whole banana?
This is a whole banana, yeah. I did not cut this, I didn't half it. It's just like a whole banana. And really it tastes like cake. So I think I have a little piece of it on there somewhere. Yeah, see, this is like you can cut them in little pieces, and they're very spongy now. You know, they're spongy, dry, and feel like marshmallows or some kind of cake, or I don't know. I mean, you really don't have to alter your food very much. You just have to remove the water and. So this would be my cake base. I'll just use this as a base and then just put it here in the baking dish. We have to call this now something else than a baking dish. Because I'm not gonna bake it. Hopefully I had 10 bananas here, so they're kind of sticky a little bit, so maybe you want to use a little bit more. So you can use as much as you want of these bananas, depending on how thick you want the crust. I'm just gonna lay them out, and then kind of can press them a little bit down to make it more. Press them in your baking dish. You could also chop them probably. You can do the same thing with apples too. If you have apples and you chop them in your food processor and then you make a crust out of that.
Do you ever freeze dry any difference?
No, I'm not a fan of freezing. I don't know what it is with freezing, but I feel like it does change the chemistry for my liking. Really, it does make the food different. With just drying, I feel like the compounds are just trapped and then preserved. But with freezing, you destroy the cell walls, so the water flows out, and then different things mix together. I feel like, so I don't like. Sometimes I do banana ice cream, sure, but I don't really freeze a lot of my food. I dry it and then I freeze it. So these I usually keep in the freezer overnight because they're like semi dry, so they're still soft. So to keep them from spoiling, I usually keep it in the freezer. But since they don't have a lot of water, they don't become frozen. They just become cold. It's kind of like nuts that you keep in the freezer or dates. So yeah, I'm not a fan of freezing things, but like they had this freeze-dried durian or something, freeze-dried fruit. It tastes different. I don't know, something is different with it. But people think it's good and it preserves the nutrients, but I'm not a fan of it and I don't really feel good with eating it. Yeah, so I kind of pressed them in this dish here. Maybe I could have used a little bit more of this, but this is pretty much it. This is then my crust. I wanted to make a key lime pie with avocado, dates, and limes, but I don't have dates, so and avocado kind of need dates because they're not sweet. So we're not gonna do this, or maybe we do like just a little cream of it on top of it. But I found some mangoes, and mangoes are usually pretty sweet without any dates. But of course, you always can make it more sweeter with dates. Dates are a really great ingredient for your for your cakes and desserts. But we can do it without, so just gonna make a cake with just fruits. And then to make it thicker, like the key lime pie, I was gonna use an ingredient to make it thicker. Usually if you go to a raw food restaurant, they use a lot of oil, coconut oil, which hardens in the fridge. So this is how they make a lot of those cheesecakes, but we don't want any oil, so we don't want to eat oil. And to replace the oil and still make it thick, and I'm not gonna use agar. So because you have to cook this, and I'm just using psyllium. Have you heard of psyllium? I've heard someone use psyllium today already. Who was that? Oh, she's not here. Anyway, so this is psyllium husk, and usually you're using it for better digestion, and they mix it in water, and then you just chuck it down, but it kind of tastes bad if you just mix it in water. But it's really great thickener, kind of like chia seeds as well. And yeah, you can just use it for your desserts as well. So I bought them as whole psyllium husks, so they kind of like a little fiber around the seed of kind of like a grass or the psyllium plant. And yeah, those are kind of coarse, so there's just a fiber. And if I mix this with my foods, I kind of like see the fiber strings. So I like to use powder, but I don't like to buy powder because I don't know what they pulverize there. So I like to buy always whole foods where you can actually see what's in there and how it looks. But you can make your own powder with a blender if it's dry, if it doesn't have any water in there. So we can just pulverize dry things in our blender. So maybe we just do this. So those are whole psyllium husks, and I want to make a powder. So I'm just gonna. We can do the whole thing probably. Why not? We just pulverize everything.
Could you also use chia seeds?
Yes. Yeah, you could use chia seeds. Yeah, it has kind of the same effect. But this is just pure fiber. It doesn't have any fat or anything in there. This is just pure fiber. Chia seeds has the fat, and so I'm just gonna pulverize this. See what happens. If you have any drops of water in there, that's not good. But this was dry. Kind of gets dusty. Need a dust mask. Oops. Sorry about this. And yeah, so we have our powder. Kind of smells like Indian spices a little bit. I mean, it is from India. Maybe there's some. So you make your own powder. You can do this with anything, really. You can do this with chia seeds if you want to have ground up chia seeds or flax seeds. Don't buy them in ground up already, because you always want to grind them fresh.
Yeah.
So you want to grind them whatever you want to use, because the omega-3 fatty acids or any unsaturated fatty acids are very prone to oxidation. That's why you also don't want to heat up oils or fat because of the oxidation.
Do you ever eat raw oats or
Raw oats,
something
no.
overnight, or-
Most of the rolled oats are heat treated. There's the oats, they don't really, well, when they already got.
Pulverize those in the blender. I used to do that.
Oh, okay, yeah, but I don't eat anything that was heated. So the oats, they're during the harvest, they're already heat treated to remove the hull. So you have to buy the hull-less variety that can actually sprout. And then still, I can't eat this whole corn like that. So I will sprout it. I will not use this and make a powder of it. I mean, we could have used it as it is, but I want to have it more fine, so I made a powder. So, and this is how you make a powder. It's kind of like the volume is like much less, but it's fine. And yeah, so what else we gonna put in here? So the psyllium comes later. So now we're gonna make our cake, and we wanna make, instead of the key lime pie, which is not sweet, we wanna use a really sweet fruit, for example, a mango. And it kind of, for some people, it looks intimidating to buy whole fruits like they are, because how should I cut it? It's gonna be messy. But you just have to know how to cut it, and then it's not that hard. So you have the mango here, and it's a little bit narrow, or like this shape, and you just cut so the pit is like this in the mango, and you just cut right on the sides of the pit. You kind of feel it with the knife, so you can see it. I asked Ramses if those are sweet, and he said yes, so I don't know.
Does it look like it's square?
Kind of look like from the outside, it's kind of soft. It does smell sweet. We'll see. So and then the peel, if it's ripe enough, you can kind of peel it off. The rest of it here. Well, definitely the bananas will be really sweet. The bananas are very sweet. So that spot here. And then you just cut this a little bit around the seed again.
Do you eat all organic food, or do you take some
I
food
try.
you can use conventional, or?
Yeah, some foods you can use conventional. Have you heard of the Dirty Dozen or
Yes,
the Clean
I do
15?
that. I
Um,
follow this list.
Yeah, that's kind of like a good list. If I go to the farmer's market, I trust the farmers, the small farmers. If they're not certified organic, then I trust them. But of course, yeah, we don't want to really use pesticides on our food, and it should be coming from smaller farms. But with mangoes, I go sometimes not organic. With avocado, I don't use organic all the
If they
time.
have a thick peel,
Yeah, exactly.
less like avocado or banana, I don't buy organic, but berries definitely, peaches, apples.
Oh yeah, peaches definitely, strawberries for sure. Yeah, you can look up which foods are very heavily sprayed. So and then you can just spoon out the rest of it. It doesn't really look like too ripe, this one. It's It's not that ripe, yeah. Huh?
I grow mangoes.
Oh, you grow mangoes? This is not a good one. Huh? Let me try it.
Yeah. I'm very,
We don't spray.
Oh, it's not that bad.
they don't need,
We don't need
need
to.
it.
We don't.
It could be a little bit riper, sure.
I don't buy it. I don't buy them organic.
So you're growing mangoes where?
Florida.
Oh, Florida. Well, that's great. Yeah, you really want your fruit to be ripe, but it's not that bad. Let's see. It's kind of soft, but
Yellow means usually they're, yeah, they're like.
sometimes also the variety of the mango that it's not really sweet. So I would encourage just try a lot of different varieties and just.
Could you make this with those yellow ones that they have thinner skin?
Oh yes, totally.
Would be better, sweet, they're
Yeah,
sweeter.
they're very sweet.
Sediment in the porch.
And I was really thinking that I'm gonna do this key lime pie today with the dates. But that's how it is, you know.
One tree will produce three.
All right, so
Ziploc bags.
not that bad. And also, as I said, the bananas are very sweet. We cannot always do troubleshooting all the time, you know, because life is not perfect, and like whole foods are come always different, and it's just not always available. You could also use a papaya probably, but papaya just sometimes has a, I don't know if I would use papaya for a cake. Maybe I did one time, but it just has a very specific taste.
Have you ever eaten the seed of the papaya?
Yes, yeah. The seeds of the papaya, sometimes they're used as a black pepper replacement, a little bit spicy. They also are antiparasitic,
Yeah, yeah.
and they are also used as a natural birth control.
So can you put them in the blender and grind them as a powder and spray it over?
You could, yeah. But I mean, like, I wouldn't eat it every day.
Yeah.
Like anything like this that's antiparasitic or with garlic, for example, too, right? I wouldn't do it every day
Why?
just because it's very strong,
Oh.
and it might also disturb other bacteria that you may have beneficially, or
It could kill the bad and the good bacteria.
yeah, it could also kill maybe good. So there's something like this that is not really a food. Like the seeds are not really the food. The food is really the fruits and vegetables. I wouldn't do it every day.
Is that the same with apple cider vinegar?
Apple cider vinegar. I'm not sure. I think apple cider vinegar has some benefits, definitely for the bacteria, for the microbiome. It probably won't disturb the microbiome. But it could have other side effects, maybe too acidic for your teeth, or so I would like things like this. I always would switch up, and we also switch up the fruits. I mean, they're not always seasonal. So this time of year will be a lot of peaches, a lot of watermelon. I won't eat this in the winter, so you always switch a little bit. But I don't know if it's for the same reason. I'm not sure. It kind of smells good. Who's eating? Only 2 people. Usually I was always asking who's water fasting, and then everyone said me, and now I'm rather asking who's actually eating food. So now we got 3 mangoes in here, and that's about it. That's all. And mangoes, sometimes they already become really thick. So I'm not sure how much psyllium I'm using for this to make it thicker.
So if you had the dates, what would be in there instead?
Huh?
If they had the dates, maybe.
Oh, if I had dates, I probably would, if I have a mango that's not that sweet, you could put more dates to make it sweeter. Or what I wanted to do is the key lime pie with avocado, lime juice, and dates to make a green cream, which is really creamy and very sweet. It doesn't really taste like avocado anymore. And, but yeah, we don't have that, so I'm choosing a really sweet fruit. Okay, this mango might not be the sweetest, but so I'm just gonna mix this up here a little bit. Really high speed, so you have it nice and creamy. Unless you want some chunks in it, and you can also have a cake with chunks. But it looks really nice. It's already a really nice pudding too. But yeah, I want to make it a little bit more thick. So the psyllium always goes last. So just to prevent clumping or it not, or then you can blend it first like smooth, and then you put the psyllium last because it thickens then, and you might not be able to blend it. So it always goes last, whatever you do, unless you have like a really liquid mixture, then it doesn't really matter. And since this is powder, I probably wouldn't use more than a teaspoon. Of course, I don't have fancy measuring teaspoons like that, so it's kind of really, so approximately. So yeah, let's just use 1 teaspoon, approximately, and then blend it up. Another one, maybe two teaspoons. Because you don't want this to become too hot, but maybe we have to use 2 teaspoons probably. Sometimes it takes a while to thicken. It gets really thick. It is getting thick, huh? It thickens a little bit after a while, so sometimes it's difficult to see. But we use about 2 tablespoons, which is quite a lot actually for psyllium. You just go for it, huh? So you just pour it on top of this.
Adding the syrup doesn't change the taste of my milk.
The syrup does taste a little bit. It takes away a little bit of the sweetness, but it doesn't have a taste by itself. So that's why having dates is really great for something like that. So if you keep it in the fridge for a while, then it will thicken up even more. Definitely a very gut healthy cake. And probably very suitable for diabetics because it just has more fiber too, right? Psyllium is really good for processing all the sugar. If the mangoes were too sweet, but they're probably not anyway. Yeah, it does thicken up quite a bit actually. I have a little spatula at home. It's a little bit easier to get this out. And at home you can use your fingers too. So to make it a little bit more interesting, what you can do is you can also use different layers of fruit. You could even do a little bit of the key lime cream a little bit, you know. You could do like a berry kind of syrup with dates too. Dates would be good too here. So just dates with raspberries or strawberries, blueberries and put it on top of it.
Would you blend the dates or?
Yeah, definitely blending the dates. Yeah, so either we could add a berry layer or avocado cream layer.
Avocado cream.
Avocado cream. Or we do both.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, it's really like a new cake for me too today. So we use avocado. No worries, that knife is dull, so it looks more dangerous than it is. I'm not cleaning up the blender, so I'm just gonna use the residue of it. Let's use maybe 2 avocados. I was also going to use coconut. Coconut would be great too. They didn't have coconut in the kitchen. I'm using whatever is in the kitchen.
Improvise it.
How do you serve it? You just scoop?
You can cut it and then scoop it off, probably. We'll see. We're gonna serve it for the people who are eating.
Why does sometimes the avocado don't ripen properly? They stay hard. I've had
Oh,
that
they stay hard?
a week there sitting on the counter and they never become.
They never?
No,
Oh, I would bring
sometimes.
them back then.
Not always though, sometimes.
Definitely, I would bring them back. Then they're definitely not good. They need to definitely be soft. Maybe they got picked too unripe or
Too early, yeah.
Sometimes it does take a while if they're really fresh. It takes about a week sometimes. But there's really nothing you can do. So either they ripen or they don't. So I think we need a lot of lime. Let's see how juicy they are.
Can you replace the dates with raisins?
Yes, you definitely could. They do have raisins here,
Yeah.
but I prefer to make my own raisins. Since I made my own raisins with a dehydrator out of grapes, I don't buy raisins anymore because I kind of feel, sometimes I buy them from the farmer's market where they say they're sun-dried and yeah, okay, but in the store, I'm not really buying them. Usually sometimes they're also added with on oil. They have sometimes oil.
And on crackers, they do. It's always over.
And I feel like they dry them with high heat, maybe too high heat. So I feel like yeah.
How about the seeds from the limes?
Oh, there's no seeds in limes. Yeah, with lemons, yeah, sure, you have to be careful, but these they don't have any seeds. I have a citrus press at home. You can also use a spoon and spoon it out. Okay, let's see what happens with this. Yeah, usually I would put dates in here and a little bit of water, and then psyllium husk as well to make it thick.
Do you soak your dates first?
No, well, it kind of depends. I'm usually, when I do something like this, I use the medjool dates, which are already soft. The diglet noir, they're kind of hard sometimes. Or maybe if the medjool dates are a little bit drier. But usually you don't have to soak it with a high-speed blender. The high-speed blender pretty much gets it all. This is one. Okay. Oh, electrical. Sorry about this noise. You're free to hold your ears. That's the problem if you don't have enough volume for your blender. Then it'll kind of look like guacamole. I might just use a little bit more lime juice because we don't want guacamole on the cake. The lime really will take away the flavor of the avocado. So if you make it really sour enough, then you won't taste avocado. Yeah, I don't know. A cake without dates is a little bit difficult. So if you want to make it again at home, just use some dates. Maybe they can't hurt.
How many dates do you use?
It really depends how sweet the dates are, how big the dates, and yeah, especially not all dates are the same sweetness.
If it's sweet too, do you think it's enough? Or
The what?
if it's really sweet, do you just use 2?
If they're really big and really sweet, it also depends on your taste, how sweet you want it. Then I personally would probably add here in this little amount for one avocado, maybe like 1 or 2 at least. But really, you're free to just taste it and see how you like the taste. It's very difficult to make a recipe and not adjust it to your liking. You might not like it, because all the ingredients are different. Okay, we use for 2 avocados, we use now 3 limes. That problem that's not enough volume, so maybe you make a bigger cake when you're at home, just use more, but it doesn't look bad, so it gets really creamy. So it's kind of really fluffy and creamy, and is this already picking up? Oops. I'm not that messy at all. This is like really thick now, actually, so we can just use add the other layer. This also got really thick. So it's just we don't need any Psyllium. If we use just barely any liquid. Huh?
Great.
Yeah, I feel like we're so attracted to cream cakes, the dairy, because it's creamy. But not because we would like to consume mother's milk. It's because we are used to, like our ancestors were eating avocado. They're very creamy, nuts and seeds. They make it super creamy, just like dairy, but without the aftertaste of pus and suffering.
Can you use psyllium powder instead of cornstarch?
Cornstarch, I would not use cornstarch.
No, I mean, can you use psyllium powder instead of?
Depends what you want to make with corn.
That's what I'm.
I never use cornstarch. So cornstarch you usually use in soups to make them thick, and you heat them, right? You heat it and then it gets thick. The psyllium you don't have to heat, yes. So I guess, but it depends. So I wouldn't use psyllium for tomato sauce, because then it gets a little bit more gel-like and more like jello. So I use psyllium in desserts. In the tomato sauce, I would rather use like dried fruits, or if I want to make it thick with a gel-like thing, like a chia seeds, I would use probably in tomato sauce. So it really
Zucchini would
depends.
work too, right?
Huh?
Zucchini would work too?
In tomato sauce? I never use zucchini in tomato sauce.
But it just makes it thicker?
Well, the tomato sauce, well, what I use is bell peppers, makes it thicker. Bell peppers or dried tomatoes, but I like to have my own dried tomatoes as well. And any other dried fruits like dates or even dried persimmons. I'm doing a lot of tomato sauce with dried persimmons, which is really great. Okay, this is like a complete new cake. I've never made this before. It's kind of like a mango key lime pie. Without the dates. So that's why I'm choosing to have just a thin layer of the key part. Because this is not sweet. The creamy part is not sweet, it's just creamy and sour. But I just hope the bananas and the mangoes give enough sweetness.
Could you put like raw bananas on top just to give it some sweetness?
Oh yeah, you could. Yeah, or even as a layer, because the bananas turn brown. Yeah, you could put this as a layer on top, or in between.
Since you have lime, it kind of prevents it
Oh
from
yeah, you
browning,
could.
right?
Yes, that's right. You could do that too. Yeah, really experiment whatever you like. You can also use a layer of cut fruits, but let's do the other layer too with some berries, some color. Maybe these will be probably very liquid if I blend them. These will be a little bit thicker. Blueberries they stay thicker. It would help to have dates now as well. So if you make a syrup, and I'm not gonna clean the blender right now either, so I'm just gonna leave it like this. Yeah, so it also would help to have dates here, because the sweeter the better, I guess. But maybe you prefer it not that sweet. So I'm just gonna use the whole pint. I think it's a pint of blueberries, and then a little bit of the raspberries as well. Maybe half of the raspberries, and then just blend this up. Where did I put? Oh, it's here. I was expecting it to be brown, or black, like the other ones. Okay, still blend this up a little bit. Same color. Well, this is a good sign. You have to make a big cake so it all fits in your. You don't have the problem with too little volume. But it's you can leave it a little bit more coarse as well. Maybe just use all of it. I don't think it will be very liquid. It is kind of liquid, but that's fine because it will be just a thin layer. So you just put it on top. natural whole foods cake. Maybe that's it for the layer. You could also use psyllium in the layer, but as I said, the psyllium will take away a little bit of the sweetness. We still have something left. Oops. It's getting more messy here.
How long can you keep this in the fridge to be safe to eat?
You have to, well, I would suggest to keep it in the fridge for an hour now, to let it sit, to make it firm a little bit, to be easier to cut, but we don't have time for that.
No, if you have leftovers, you have.
Oh,
one
I would
portion.
eat it in 2 days. I
No
guess.
more than 2 days.
Yeah, maybe 3, but depends.
And can you freeze it?
No, I wouldn't freeze it. Maybe you can. Maybe more than it's an ice cream cake. Maybe you can, but
Pretty good.
freezing, probably the key lime pie you can freeze a little bit better because it has a lot of fat from the avocado. So that would be more ice cream like. This one has more water, so not sure, maybe. Yeah, so I would just try it. Let's just just gonna mix it down.
Can you sprinkle some shredded coconut on top of this?
You could.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could really do this according to your liking as well. And you could even use a coconut, make a coconut cream, or instead of the avocado. There's like so many possibilities. Or, as I said, you can just eat the fruit as there are.
How do you make coconut cream with coconut?
With a whole coconut, you just open the coconut. Either mature one has a lot of fiber, or the young ones, they have less fiber, they're more creamy. But I do also use the mature ones more than I use the young ones because I can't open the young ones really well. And they're sometimes heat treated too. So they're sometimes treated. I usually get the mature ones and then get the flesh out, the water, and then just blend the flesh with the water. Also some dates if you want. And then, yeah.
Does it become fluffy and collected?
Yeah, creamy and fluffy. The mature ones are a little bit more fibrous. So, but I made a cake with that and it was pretty good.
Is it hard to scoop it up? Hard?
Well, we'll see, you know. It'll be easier if you let it set.
The coconut when you.
Oh, the coconut? No.
No?
Looks really good. Well, it will probably be still a little bit liquid and hard to get out. Especially if you have more of a banana. Also don't have the right equipment here. Well, if you put it in a glass as well, like each on its own, you could also make a layer cake in a glass, so you don't have this problem. Because it might not be like completely, might not be thick at all right now.
Touch frozen. That's the way I do mine.
Or it's more like a pudding. Sometimes my cakes turn out like a pudding. I just call it a pudding cake. Yes, so who's eating? Now more people are eating, aren't they?
Just cutting it first.
You just stop your fast right now. So let me try it for you. It's not really a cake right now, so it doesn't really hold together, but it's kind of like, I mean, it's a dessert. Yes. Yeah, it is pretty. I mean, the bananas are very cakey. The dried bananas.
How
They
strong
kinda
is
was-
the lime taste in that?
Not much.
Not much.
Not much. It's like a little bit of cream. It could have a little bit more sweetness, like the mango, but it's kind of really fresh. And the banana just have a like a marshmallow sponge to it. So the people who are eating, do you want to try it? Yeah.
You get to take it home and enjoy it by yourself at home after.
So I'm just gonna
Thank you, that was delicious.
all right, okay. Before everyone goes, like thank you for attending, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you. I'm Rob for 8 years now. Well, already pretty rough. Well, it's gradually. Yeah.
Still in the
They're definitely okay, I would say. But I'm always concerned about changing the chemistry of foods. So if
that's gonna be
you have protein and starches and you heat them, they change a lot of the chemistry. With tea, you don't fry it, you don't heat it a lot. But the like starches and protein, they just react really similarly. With the tea, there's like mostly just small molecules. They don't really react. I think that would be more like an extract. Like I don't really do a lot of teas.
The only liquid you take is water.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. I personally don't. Yeah.
And you're not take vitamin D?
No, I'm not. So there's chlorella as well that sometimes happens naturally. By vitamin D, I go in the sun.
Put it in a sweet vitamin D.
Yeah, for example.
You make it?
Yeah. So this, I mean, see, it is a little bit thick, so it would be a little bit thicker.
We've been watching you, all of us upstairs, and we're so curious to
in there, but it's sweetened a little.
Are you eating?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're already, how many if we have 4 little spoons, you can give us.
Oh, okay.
Or people just to get
See, it is actually, I mean, it's getting easier to spoon out. See that cake here?
a lot of work. Wow.
Not really. That's a lot of work. This is the only tool I use, and I was talking a lot. I took my time.
It's always like,
Well, it's nice to have that now.
Yeah.
And not anymore. No, I work in the research.
Yeah.
Were you a chiropractor?
No, a researcher.
Or research?
It's not bad, is it?
Good going away.
It looks fantastic.
Well, this doesn't look fantastic. The first piece always goes really bad.
How do you get this recipe?
I just made it up today. Because I wanted to make the key lime pie, but I was missing something.
You use the psyllium?
Yeah, the avocado and
Just avocado
dates.
dates.
You're welcome. Come down for more if you want. Come down for more if you want.
are you going to put that in the fridge now, as you suggested?
You can try it right now. It's just for the taste, just for the texture, so the sodium and the hardwood. But you can eat it now if you want. It doesn't change the taste.
On the key lime, you put bananas underneath it.
Yeah, or you can use another crust. You can use another crust as well.
What's a good crust?
Nuts with dates.
the apple.
You would do that
Right.
Oh, apple, dry.
Yeah, they're not sliced. I use it as whole.
No, you chop it.
Chop it and then put it down.
Yeah.
That's right. Walnuts and almond and pecans.
I live in Santa Rosa. and
Okay.
they're so rotten, and I just.
No, but it's okay.
Is there like a community or a group or a place? I mean, I just want support, because.
Oh yeah, well, I was trying to make a community. So I'm doing my own business now with lifestyle coaching. So I want to make a community, well, where we meet up on Zoom or something like this, or like food blogs. Okay, well, I got your email and
I didn't put it because I put it before, but.
oh, okay, you want my email address?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But I'll put that I would use.
Oh yeah, okay. Next time, yeah. Yeah. No, it'll be sprouting.
Can you make a sprouting pasta?
Yeah, I could, yeah, definitely.
Very dense and high in nutrients.
Oh, wait a second, we were trying to cake, you didn't say nothing.
Oh, it was great. I don't think it even needed the dates.
No dates, no?
Yeah, I don't think it needed the
It's good
dates.
enough?
Yeah, and I
We'll
think,
thicken up a little bit here.
yeah, and I think, I don't know, but the dates would change the color of the, like,
Maybe a little bit.
yeah, so I like them vibrant yellow and the green, and I don't think it needed
But you
the,
could put my dates in the
yeah,
syrup.
probably on
top of
the
it.
syrup, yeah, but I would,
Make it into a
yeah, I think it's sweet enough, and the texture of I didn't expect that texture from the bananas.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I thought that would be more like, yeah, but it's like pillowy. It's like I think, yeah, if it's set in the fridge for an hour, then it would really melt and have a natural layer.
Yeah, well, maybe you can dry the bananas a little bit more, so they keep a little more dry.
Yeah.
I didn't use all these. I thought I'm gonna make a cereal as well, but we kept too much.
Thank you so
It looks
much.
great. Thank you.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Do you use this in your daily or not?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Do you make crust out of nuts?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it?
Just nuts with dates and you chop it together. It's very easy.
Oh, okay.
Like half, maybe, or maybe a little bit more nuts.
What kind of nuts do you prefer for crust?
Walnuts are good. Almonds are good.
Pecan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll
So
try
next in
some.
2 weeks, sprouting?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
We do sprouting.
Alright.
So, who tried the cake? You tried it?
Oh, that
Liked
was
it?
good, Dr. Eve.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want another piece?
Just repeating, so theoretically I shouldn't have had citrus or avocado, but there's.
Oh, okay. That's just a little bit.
Yeah, that's why I got it. It was nice because it was tart and just,
Okay.
you know, refreshing.
It's a little bit tart, right? Yeah, I put a
Yeah,
lot
but
of limes
still,
in there.
yeah, but if you were serving it to people that, you know, don't eat this way, putting the dates in, people would love it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Nice,
See
thank
you
you,
in
Dr. Eve.
2 weeks maybe. Or I'll send you an email and you can watch the YouTube.
Oh, that'd be great, yeah. Do you have other YouTube videos?
I'm working on it.
Great. I like your recipes. I'm gonna be following you, yeah. And I picked up a book, so
Okay.
I'm learning about it. I'm getting there. My
Yeah.
health is improving.
It's easy.
This-
It should make your life easier.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
This trip knocked out the insulin resistance. My blood sugar's coming down, so
Oh, good.
it's been an issue for 24 years.
Oh, yeah.
I feel good about getting it.
Great.
So, yes.
Yeah, it's the natural foods.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna eat this way. I'm probably gonna go raw, like quarter to a third of my diet. I'm not gonna go as hardcore as you, but I'm
You don't
gonna
have
do
to.
it.
If you still feel good, you know, you just have to determine what feels good for you. But definitely increase your raw foods, and it's always good.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna start with it, who knows, someday it
Alright.
might.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. E.